I've never had a movie in my life I've ever had to stop watching, regardless whether it was terrible. Like, I sat through Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the entire thing. I mean, horror movies, my worst fear is the Nun. I saw that movie in theaters. I watched it. I've sat through the whole thing. I've never, ever, ever had to stop watching a movie until right now. I came across this movie on YouTube, a movie clip of it, and it's a horror movie, but it's like an obscure horror movie. Like, it's not like traditional, but I mean, it's like it's a body modification type of horror movie, and kind of like Human Centipede, um, which I haven't seen that one either. But this movie, I actually turned this one off. I haven't finished it. I'm not gonna lie, I really could not get past it. I couldn't continue on. It makes me physically uncomfortable watching it. And that movie is 2014's Tusk, which is essentially about a guy who's like mentally unstable who completely transforms a man into a walrus, of all things. And it sounds stupid. Like, it's like, why a walrus of all things? Why not fucking anything else? I really could not get past it. I feel I'm literally sitting there recording this as soon as I turn it off. I actually feel physically sick right now. I feel incredibly sick to my stomach right now. The part I got to in the movie is where he's saying walruses must learn to swim. If you haven't seen the movie, I mean, you can watch it if you want. I'm not gonna sit here and don't tell you to watch it, but just know it's a little bit unsettling, and just the whole like surgical operation. What really just gets to me is like the full camera view of the walrus. Like, when the camera zooms out and shows him, it is it's worse than like a lot of other gory ass horror movies I've watched. I've watched so many horror movies that are gory. I mean, fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, the goriest of movies. I mean, one of the most recent Halloween movies, Michael Myers cuts off a police officer's head and uses it as a jack-o'-lantern or some shit. I've watched a ton of gory shit, and this is even like that gory. Like, I mean, it's somewhat gory, but not. There's something so unsettling about how the walrus looks, and I don't even know if I want to show you guys a clip of it on this fucking video, because it is so unsettling. The idea of the movie is kind of unique, body modification movies. I mean, we had Human Centipede, but this is something else, and I really just I have to talk about it. I have to talk about this movie because it is something that I think it's very unique in cinema for movie making. It's very, very, very unique, and it's like some like podcast or whatever goes to interview this guy, and the guy turns out to be like insane and fucking says that being a walrus is better, and then you find out that this guy isn't even the first walrus human hybrid type of thing, that there were others. It is just it's actually sickening. It actually, like, I could sit down and watch all the Halloween movies. I can watch Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I can watch those gory movies, and I could sit there and I can go, this is fine. I can watch zombie movies. I can watch movies where, I can watch those type of movies and not get sick. I don't know what it is about this. I don't know if it's because they actually show this guy's, like, reaction. Like, the guy wakes up after, like, getting a drink or whatever from the guy he's interviewing, and his leg is missing, and what makes it even more sad is this guy is like trying to call his girlfriend, who is like they're not even like on good terms, because it's like I'm honestly a little confused on it. I'm pretty sure they're both like cheating on each other, but he calls her and he's like begging her to come help, and he's sitting there in a wheelchair and he goes, he cut off my fucking leg, and then it's like an all, I guess what it is, it's an all hope kind of lost thing, because it's fucking, I think I should even talk about this movie until I finish it, but it really gives you an all hope is lost, because he ends up getting turned. It's not even a race against the clock to go save him before he gets turned into a walrus. This motherfucker gets turned into a fucking walrus, and it's a, I don't know. It's movies like that, I should say. The all hope is lost type of thing, where there's no hope for him. He's getting turned into a walrus whether he likes it or not, and it's so fucking crazy. It is so, like, I really cannot fathom that type of torture, what type of hell that would be. Now, I know it's a movie, and that's something I actually have always told myself when there's movies that I get scared of, like when I was a kid and I'd watch horror movies and I would get scared of them, I'd always tell myself, it's a movie, it's a movie, it's a movie. And I've had to do that for a long time when watching horror movies. But this movie, I actually had to sit there and remind myself, 24-year-old me, I had to remind myself, it's a movie, 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 it's a movie. It makes me so uncomfortable. I cannot, even, this movie just seems like it flew under the radar for a lot of people. I mean, because I don't think I've ever heard a lot of people talk about it, but I had seen a clip of it on YouTube, and I was like, I'll check it out. I mean, it's a horror movie, and I'm kind of on a horror movie binge lately, and it really just, I had to turn this one off. And maybe that just makes me have a weak stomach, because I think a lot of people were able to finish this movie no problem, but because it is so obscure and so like weird, and I cannot get over what I already saw, and honestly I'm wishing I hadn't seen it, because it is something that it made me physically uncomfortable. I've never, like, yeah, I've been to movies where I'm like, this is kind of stupid, or I'm like, this is kind of weird, but I've never had to turn a movie off. I've never had to sit there and turn a movie off. I'll finish it, and if I finish it, I'll sit there and go, oh, that wasn't too good of a movie, or that was a great movie, or whatever. I've never had to sit there and actually turn a movie off. I don't know what it is that made me look at that. Like, it's looking at the after effect, like when he's turned into a walrus and seeing that shit and seeing what it looks like. Because I guess in a lot of horror movies, when something like that happens, it's always dark. You can never fully clearly see. This one, it is bright. You get the whole thing directly like at you. You get to the movie gives you time to take in what has happened. I know there are some movies that do that, but for the movies I've seen, anytime there's like any type of gore or anything, usually you don't see all of it, because for one, it's dark. The camera usually kind of pans quickly past it. You don't have enough time to really sit there and digest what you're looking at. This gives you like a full like 45 to 60 seconds of looking at it and seeing it, and just fucking getting an eyeful. And I don't know what it's uncomfortable. And there's like, they don't really show him, they show him doing the surgery to like turn the other guy into a walrus. And they have like little camera pans that show the progress. And that in itself is really uncomfortable. And I don't know, I had to talk about this movie because I've never had to turn off a movie before, regardless. Whether it was The Nun, Nun is my worst fear in general. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I could probably watch that movie then, another 10 times before watching Tusk again, to be honest with y'all. But this movie's just insane. If you haven't watched it, feel free to check it out. I'm not going to tell you to watch it or tell you to not watch it. Check it out of your own accord. But I just had to talk about it because it is crazy. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. I'll see you later in a brand new one. Have a good day, and as always, stay awesome.